been so long, wanna make love to you, baby. Now we're back for more. Wanna make love to you, baby. Don't feel it free. It's the only way
How
to
come
be.
you know all the words to this song?
Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Okay, here we go
now.
Dear George and Luke.
Hello, dear. Hello, dear.
I split with my husband just under a year ago. It was completely my decision, and I've been unhappy in the marriage for some time. I was sick of feeling undervalued.
I wish they'd say how long the marriage was.
Well, maybe they'll get to that if you let me, carry on.
This is a woman speaking, I imagine.
Yeah, I was sick of feeling undervalued, unattractive, and doing pretty much everything for the kids, while he carried on like a single guy. Anyway, I found myself really missing him, and I hate it. The longer I'm on my own, the more I think back to the marriage, and I miss family life and the social life we had as a couple.
Has she not got the kids with her?
She
walked out on him and the kids.
Well, I think maybe she means family life. I don't know if she means maybe. That's a good point. I don't know. She hasn't given us the information. Maybe she left, or maybe because normally, when a marriage breaks up, the women tend to keep the kids, right? That's just the way it happens.
Yeah, it's quite unusual if she just went, "I've had enough of you," and you can keep the kids.
It does happen though, George. I mean,
it does happen. I've read about it.
I'm currently reading. Well, I've read about it recently. There's a book I'm reading. I'm reading this book, ladies and gentlemen, at the moment, Will Smith's autobiography. And he talks about that in that book, where his mum just...
Oh, you read? Where did that book come from then?
His mum, because his mum's got a very...
I've read this book.
He's actually read it.
I've already finished it.
He's already finished it, ladies and gentlemen.
It's fantastic. I love it.
It's a great book, ladies and gentlemen. This is good.
The ability of that writer, Will Smith, and his
mate,
to articulate.
I think it's Mark Manson, I think his name is.
It's so, the articulation is amazing. He just sums things up.
The articulation and the mysticulation and the gesticulation.
Especially the gesticulation.
I love.
And the testiculation. But that book, like, you know sometimes like somebody to get to a point, it takes them like a paragraph, 2 pages. That book hits the nail on the head.
Nails
in like a sentence. It's like, it's brilliant. I loved it.
It's an excellent. I haven't finished it yet, but I am enjoying it, it's very insightful.
What was the point you were making about the book?
Well, because I don't want to ruin it for the viewers though. Things that happen in the book.
Oh, okay, all right.
Well, basically, can I say it?
But what was it in reference to? It was in reference to
the fact that you were saying about women very rarely leave the family house.
Yeah. No, I was reading a thing about women's mother's guilt, which is when a woman is in a very bad marriage and she, for whatever reason, can't leave and take the child with her, and she has to leave, and she leaves the children with the dad. And it was about this ongoing guilt she has that she's not a real mother and she's not doing what she was born to do. And it was very interesting because I was thinking, why would you... But they were like, he was a good dad, I was bad, I was a drug addict, or I was this, or I was, I wasn't competent. And I don't know. I mean, it is very, very rare, let's say. But anyway, has this woman, what's happened?
There isn't too much left that she's got to say, but she's basically said...
She misses him.
She misses the family life, the social life. I feel I should be moving on, but I just feel stuck. Why do I feel like this? Please tell me it's going to get better, George and Luke.
Well, no.
That's what
can't say it's going to get better because... You haven't told us if you got the kids.
Well, listen.
If you got the kids, right, you're going to find it very, very difficult to have a family life because men who meet you are not going to want to come in and be dad.
Well, some will.
Right? No. Initially, they might be like,
No, not initially.
Maybe in 6 months, I'll come in, and let's make this clear. Some men will jump into bed with you, raise your kids, they'll be dad tomorrow. The problem is, you don't want those men, because those men are too needy, too desperate, and they turn you off. So you're like, I don't want them men. The men you want are the attractive men, right? Who, I'm not saying they're better men, they're usually worse. But they're the men you find attractive because other women find them attractive. That's usually how it works. Sorry about that, I didn't make species that way. But women tend to like men who other women like. The problem is if other women like him, Why is he going to suddenly go, yeah, I'll raise your children and live with you, when he could go, no, I'll go out with that single woman and that single woman and that single woman, and I don't have to raise anyone else's children. And eventually I can settle down and have my own children and have my own family. Point being, it's very difficult for you to get a family life with a new man because you already have kids. And that's if you live with the kids. If you've left the kids and the man, then obviously you're not going to experience family life because you've left your kids and your man. That's just ridiculous. So the easiest, safest way that is best and healthiest for you and your children is actually to get back together with your partner.
I thought you might say that.
Here's the thing, right? When people break up, it's often because problems are rising to such a proportion that they feel like to solve the problem, I leave. And even though it will present a series of, problems itself, it will actually make things easier. In reality, it oftentimes makes things just as hard or harder than they were before. So you either fix the problems that are right there, or you go create a whole batch of new problems that all have to be fixed. But there's no easy fix. You don't just leave and go, oh yeah, it's great. Because basically, I've already said it, but not only will a guy hesitate very, very much to like move in and play dad to your children, but he also has to deal with the fact that he's not dad and the real dad is still there, and the real dad will be somewhat resentful of a new man coming in, and the new man knows that. So he's like, here's little Roger. Roger's only 5 years old. He's wonderful. He's innocent. I love little Roger. I quite happily play video games with little Roger, play Super Mario Brothers and Sonic the Hedgehog, except when I do that, right, and I look into his eyes and he's really cute and he loves me because I'm showing him cool stuff, I know that his dad is jealous and therefore I'm feeling guilty even though I'm just trying to be nice to this little kid who's completely innocent. And these things weigh on men, which is like, I don't need like animosity from a grown man just for sort of trying to be nice to you, this woman's child. So it's friction, it's problems, and the problems are very, very hard to solve, and they often lead to the end of these new relationships in these difficult circumstances. So, easiest fix, get back together with your husband. You miss him? Lucky you.
Yeah.
If you didn't miss him, it'd be a lot harder, but you miss him. That's fantastic. That's the best position you could ever hope to be in.
He doesn't sound like the worst guy in the world, if I'm honest. You didn't say he cheated on you, or he did this, or he did that. You said he was acting like a single bloke, so I don't know what that means. Does that mean he was just being a bit selfish? And I'm not saying these problems are small, but what I'm saying is these problems are potentially...
He wasn't helping enough. He wasn't helping around the house. He wasn't pulling his weight.
He wasn't pulling his weight. Fair enough, that is disconcerting, that is upsetting. If that's what it is though, maybe you guys can work through those things. If you still miss him, there's still love there, perhaps potentially you guys can make it work. I don't know.
If you left him,
but you've got kids together, you were married, you obviously loved him at some point, you obviously made that commitment to each other. So I feel like it's a big thing to separate and divorce. If you still care for him, if he's not that bad, maybe you guys can come back together and fix whatever needs to be fixed.
Yes. I agree with all of that. And the other thing is he probably misses you too.
I bet he does.
It's very, very painful if someone just walks out on you, right? Right. So for him, he probably misses you.
And the kids, what about the kids, George?
And therefore he might make a change, like Michael Jackson once saying, make that change. Right. He might make a change and wash a few dishes if you go, listen, I'll come back, but here's the thing. I want you to wash the dishes. I want you to change a few bed sheets once in a while.
Listen,
right.
And he should take those things on board. Now, obviously, if he doesn't take those things on board, if he's not willing to adapt, to be flexible, to move forward, to progress, then obviously you've got something to worry about.
There's the door.
But, exactly, there's the fucking door, mate, right? And you send him out of the house, right, with no supper, right? He's got to wash his own dishes in the gutter. But hopefully, if you give him a second chance, you work things out in the gutter. You can work it out, right? So our point is, you've been married, you've got kids, he hasn't cheated on you as far as I can tell. He's a good guy, he's just got some little things that need to be fixed. You guys can get back together, and maybe you guys can become one once again. Anything to add on that? And here's the final line.
To become one.
Wanna make love to you, baby. Now we're back for more. Wanna make love to you, baby. Time for it free. It's the only way
How
to
come
be.
you know all the words to this song?
It's the fucking Spice Girls,
we
bro.
have another problem here that needs solving. Problem.
Do you know what I'm
Unsolved.
trying to say? Well, that problem is solved.
No,
So
that problem's solved, but this
well, we're going to talk about
Spice Girls dilemma.
Listen, the Spice Girls were the greatest girl band of their generation. I have, you know. Problem solved.
Get back together with him. Have a nice time.
I wish the Spice Girls would get back together and bring out some more hits. I mean, they were amazing, weren't they? Hit after hit, wasn't it, George? Hit after hit.
Well, you say that, but then then Jerry did come out with, you know, her solo career with Look at Me. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I remember that one. It wasn't great.
Who needed the Spice Girls when you got hits like Look at Me?
Fuck, you know, I forgot about that one.
This can even be reality.
They were way better together, weren't they? Who was your favourite Spice Girl, George?
Still sold a few million. Who's my favourite Spice Girl?
I feel like you might be a Baby Spice kind of guy.
No. I'd say somewhere between Posh and Ginger, I guess.
Posh, somewhere between Posh and Ginger, like an
Yeah, I'd
order.
like to sit between the two of them. They could have Posh on this side, Ginger on that side, right? And I could have Baby over there and Scary Spice pulling each other's hair and putting on a show for us two as we sit there in a sandwich.
Don't forget Sporty.
Oh! Forgot about Sporty.
I didn't forget about you. I didn't forget about you, Sporty. You were very athletic, very capable. And can I just say, Sporty, you were the best singer in the band by far. You were definitely the most talented, the most versatile. You had the best. You hit the notes the best, in my opinion. I think you were superb, and I think you were underrated within that band. And it couldn't have been easy because you were potentially seen as, you know, maybe not the most favoured of the group, but you still had
She was popular.
Well, you know, she was popular among girls,
Okay.
as opposed to maybe the boys.
Yeah, but that's
you were
because she's
awesome.
sporty,
Well,
and the
she's
guys were
sporty.
like, "Oh, you're sporty, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on in. Come and have a game of football with me."
Come and have a zig. Ah. Right, George, let's solve someone else's problem. Because I'm starving, it's almost midnight.
I really want a zig. Ah.
If you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friends.
Pay attention, guys.
If you love it easy, West is never ends.
Sometimes women drop some wisdom in songs.
In it, right?
And actually, that's not wisdom. But when they say, if you want to be a lover, you got to get with my friends.
Yeah, you got to get on with them, right?
That's,
Not necessarily.
you don't have to.
Well, it helps.
But in terms of a relationship,
Yeah.
they do oftentimes mean it. They do want to make sure that their friends like you. So there is some truth in, if you want to be my provider, you got to get with my friends. But if you want to be my lover, you don't need to meet a single one of them. All right, go on.
Be better actually to keep it a secret.
Hey, you there, I've got some really exciting special news. If you're interested in all the kind of things that we talked about in that video just there, you're gonna love this. There it is, look at that. It's written by me. It's called A Cure for Loneliness, as you can see right there. And I spent about a year of my life writing it to make sure that it would be good and fun and accurate and entertaining and all those things that make something, worthwhile. And I'm extremely excited to say that people have actually responded really well and they've been reading it all over the world. I've gotten reviews from people who say that they've read it twice. Somebody actually wrote to me recently to say that he'd read it 3 times. I was flattered if anyone had read it once, but to read it 3 times. Some excerpts of things that people have written to me about it are, it's a great and fun read, not the tedious intellectual kind. For me personally, this was a reminder that reading can be an awesome pastime. A lot of books are boring as fuck, but not this one. Thanks very much. And anyway, those are only the first responses that I got. Quite recently, somebody wrote to me from China and said that he's now in a relationship with a girl he met on a train, all he says because he read this book, and he said that it inspired him to go over to a girl that he liked on a train, yes, a public train, and start speaking to her, and now he says they are in a relationship and it is going well. So, if that kind of thing interests you, or maybe you're just interested in the kind of psychology that, we talk about on these videos, you're going to get a lot of it in depth, including my own experiences and how I kind of came to learn all of this stuff and reach this place myself. You're going to get all those stories within this. It's fantastic. Trust me, it's the best book you're ever going to read in your entire life. I wouldn't put a year of my life into writing something worthless, would I? So, jump in, have fun. You can find it on amazon.com.co.uk, any Amazon, even the Amazon jungle. It's only about $10, I think it's $8.99, something like that, with free shipping. So crack on, have some fun, And, you know, let me know what you think. Till next time. Bye.